On Financially Focused, we offer action strategies to grow your assets. However, so many of us dabble in areas of our lives, our career, our thinking about abundance, our leadership to others, and particularly leading ourselves to growth. And so we have a powerful panel here to discuss why that happens and what we can do to make a shift. We want to move from dabbling and stress to mastery. And so to my far left, we have Reverend Michelle Senegal. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. We have Mrs. Elizabeth Terry.
Thank you.
And we have Dr. Carolyn Hale. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
All right. So we have this panel is so powerful. They're lettered, they're experienced, and we're really going to touch on three major areas, which is a career, abundance, and the way you think about abundance, and leadership. So I'm going to start at my close left and just really say, Dr. Hale, give us a couple tips. How do we move in our career? Because some of us are at different stages. You may just be starting out and you've left the world of internship and you're sort of, you know, unclear, so you're dabbling. But you may be at the other end of the spectrum, in your 50s, and also dabbling. So is there a path to mastery in your career that you would suggest?
Yes, there's actually a path to mastery.
Yes.
You should have, at the beginning, or if you're in the middle or the end, you need a career development plan.
Okay.
That means you kind of sit down quietly, reflect on where you are now, how did you get here, and where do you want to go?
Yes.
And having figured that all out, you then say, fine, what do I like? What am I really like? Because if you don't know yourself, you're just going to be going from one job to the other.
So you're going to be dabbling.
You'll be dabbling.
Yes.
And usually that ends up being in conflict, because if you're working with a company where your core values and theirs are in misalignment, there's constant conflict. So you have to be clear about what it is you want, what you will not compromise on in terms of your core values, and then look for a company, or if you're going to create your own business, create the business around things that make you comfortable.
Okay, so you're actually, I'm going to put on my glasses, it's a big point. You're actually saying then to move from spinning in a circle, whether you're an intern, you're just starting your career, or you're a mature, you know, person, or even an entrepreneur. You're saying a career development plan is really how you get to mastery.
Yes.
How can I get a career development plan?
Well, you can Google it.
I could Google.
As we say, you can Google it and see the steps that are there. Or as I said, think of it the way they assess prior learning when you're going to a tertiary institution. They ask you to sit down and write an autobiographical essay. Thinking, as I said, where did it start? What is important to me? Who was the influencer in my life?
Right.
And what did that person teach me?
Yes. But do you have one?
Yes, I have one.
You have one?
Yeah, I have
so
one.
are you holding on to it? Is it top secret? You're not going to share?
It's not top secret. I'm retired, so it's easy.
It's easy?
I'm focusing on my business and trying to stay alive.
Right, but if I wanted to get a career development plan from you, how would I get one? Not your personal one, because I would like to read it because I'm nosy, but where would I get one to do for me?
Well, I mean, you can, as I said, you can contact me if you wish.
Yes.
And we can sit together and I'll help you to flesh it out. If not, you can sit by yourself and quietly write an autobiographical essay about yourself and look at the things that jump out. You don't have to do it all in one session. It takes a while.
Right.
So many things are painful. You don't want to think about those things.
Yes.
And so it may cause stressors.
Yes.
And then you have to learn how to deal with those stresses, because some of them are temporary.
Right.
And you have to know how to overcome those.
Right.
And I'm sure Mrs. Terry and Dr. Reverend Michelle will tell you how to deal with those.
Right.
But sit down quietly. People don't like to sit quietly either.
Right.
Because they don't like their own thoughts. But it's very important for you to center yourself.
Right.
You have to sit quietly and think about how you got here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're moving from, so you have a tool, a career development plan. Now we're going to jump to the middle. Mrs. Terry, how are you?
I am excellent, Denise.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
now that we have a career development plan, the challenge we have, though, is many of us are dabbling And many of us are stressed out because of leadership, not fantastic leadership. We're getting really, really bad advice, not so wonderful guidance. Maybe the people that we report to or that we work with, they themselves are confused. How do we lead ourselves? Before we criticize other people, let's look in the mirror. How do we lead ourselves?
Really good question, Denise. You know, I've had a lot of clients, and this is really where you have to start. Self-awareness. You can't change anything that you're not aware of.
Right.
Right? So if you're dabbling and it's working for you, then that's fine. If you are stressing out over achievement and you're feeling good about it, then that's okay too. But when you reach a crossroads that says, I am just so frustrated, I can't do this anymore, I feel like, you know, my world is coming apart, that's usually the trigger for someone to say, you know what, I need to make a change.
Right.
And so that is the catalyst usually for personal development. It'd be wonderful if we could just, you know, all of us decide, well, I want to do better. But the truth is that the majority of us don't. We're kind of set up for the negative. And so we have to be able to come to a point where we realize, no, I have to do something different because this isn't working for me.
I see.
And then you develop, instead of maybe a career development plan, you develop a personal development plan. Because now in your self-reflection, you see, okay, you know, Liz, you keep on doing these things, you know, and I have to take accountability that this is what I'm doing and this is the results I'm getting. Because I believe we co-create with the divine, with the limitless potential that we have within us, our reality. And so if what we are seeing in the mirror is not what we want, then we have to step back and we have to say, okay, what am I going to do differently now?
All right. Now, so quickly, is there, and I put on my glasses for this one, is there a tool that we can use? Do you have a recommended tool?
Well, I'm a positive intelligence coach. And so the tool that I use is actually your saboteur assessment.
All right.
So that you can get a really good picture of where you're self-sabotaging.
All right. So there you go. 2 tools so far. We have a career assessment tool and a self-sabotage tool. And so, of course, when you look at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see the contact information, the websites, so that you can have access, okay? Now, last but not least, Reverend Michelle, how are you?
Outstanding. Thanks for asking.
Thank you. So we're talking about really giving yourself tools to stop dabbling, not getting the results you want, being stressed, and getting into mastery. But one of the critical things is a lot of us, as Liz said, we're in the negative.
Yeah.
We don't believe that we can get good. So if someone gives us a compliment, we shun it. Right? So how do we kind of shift our mindset from the space of dabbling and stressed out over the negatives in our life to a space where we are open to abundance?
Well, number one, you have to believe in yourself. And that doesn't always come easily because of how we've been socialized. And so people have to make deliberate and concerted effort to put themselves in situations where they can grow their skills. As they grow their skills and they have more successes, then their self-confidence grows as well. Once the self-confidence grows, then what is possible for them gets bigger. Right now they have very, very limited thinking. And again, as was said, they really focus on the negative, but you start to see the good when you come from a more positive place. It all begins with, all of these relate to each other. It all begins with self-awareness and then self-love.
Self-love. And do you have a tool that persons can whether download or refer to?
Well, actually, I customize
Okay.
what I do. I take a more individualized approach with people. Once I do an intake, then I may decide, oh, you may want to try the Enneagram, or you may want to take a look at this particular instrument. But I always make it very, very specific to the individual.
Okay, okay. So Listen, bottom line, when we are in a space where nothing is working and you're dabbling and you're stressed out, we want to get to mastery, okay? And mastery means you're going to reach out. You're not doing it alone. You're reaching out. You're going to have all the resources at the bottom of the screen, and you have these awesome coaches, career, leadership, abundance, yeah? And this is going to help you to determine the support you need so that you can be financially focused, so that the good you want, you can plan for it, and all of the emotional anxieties and stuff come out of the way, and so that you can build your asset building plan. I'm Denise Williams, and I'll see you in a minute.